Hello, party people. There's just some things I want to reference tonight. As I feared, at the same time as I suspected and expected, I'm not returning to work on time as scheduled at all. I mean, if I'm still showing symptoms, I believe it's still possible to spread this shit. You just listen to my voice, you know that things are not exactly normal. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I have noticed, I made a short a while back how I had a void in my life to fill. That wasn't entirely just, I don't know what you got. It's not necessarily clickbait, but maybe, you know, verbal bait, if you want to call it that. Like, okay. Sometimes I just have to ask myself, what the fuck am I doing? And it's getting to the point where, like, I'm gambling online, and it doesn't matter what the outcome is, because eventually everything just evens out. I mean, of course, is gambling a timing thing? Of course, we talked about this in a past video. It just seems like I could be using my time more constructively. I mean, okay, theoretically, I could hit a jackpot, and what? Does that mean I'm just never going to gamble again in my life? That would have to be one big jackpot, just to let you know. So there was some good news for a change. So Genshin Impact is still rolling on their Twitter feed. The Genshin Impact Twitter tweeted another character that's coming up, and it's good to know that, like, this theoretically can whatever's happening in Shanghai, can whatever's happening with the virus in general, can change things, of course. People seem hopeful that things will not get as bad as they were in the past. And right now, quite frankly, things aren't that bad. For my situation, it kind of sucks, but at least I'm not dying. I don't think I'm dying, at least. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm not sure if I ever talked about this. I'm sure other content creators have mentioned this. Content creators for Genshin Impact. Some of them use up to 800 Primo Gems in 1 day, a span of 24 hours between when the servers reset to when the servers end for the next reset. Typically that's Eastern Standard Time. That's 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. Technically it's 5 a.m. to 4:59 a.m. So whole 24 hours. If you do the math, 800 Primo Gems is half of a 10 pull. So we're talking about like maybe possibly like $10-$20 per day just to have the ability to make content for the game. I mean, now if you look at someone like Enviosity, probably the most famous free-to-play player of this game, does Hoyoverse recognize them? I'm sure they do. They have to, of course. Now, does he get that bonus of Primo Gems that no other content creator wants to question? Because I think the bigger you are, the more influence you have. So they would give the bigger creators more things, because like every time a content creator makes a wish, for example, or pose for a wish, that's another wish that another player wish they could have made. No pun intended. They wish they could have made that wish, and that advertises the game. Now, do most content creators make this public? They might allude to it, they might reference it, but no one really talks about it, because essentially you're asking them to find out how much money you're making from playing this game, and that's, in any field of employment, that's typically not a cool thing to do. That's all I got for Genshin Impact. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just glad the game's not dead. Like, obviously with my pessimism, I assumed the game was gonna just remain unfinished. So I've been having some, I made a couple notes, that's why I'm looking over there. I made a couple notes, and one of them that I wanted to talk about was my writer's block. Now, here's the thing about writer's block. In my opinion, writer's block doesn't either last or is less likely to last for people who already have a averagely successful book. Now, the reason I say that is because if you have a successful book, whatever your terms of success are, you accomplish your goal. Like, it's not like people are gonna stop reading a book. I mean, like, there's a chance someone might pick up a copy like a decade from now. You never know, or when you pass away, you never know. But the point is, you had a large amount of influence, to use that word again, over your audience. If one of my books, see, there's a difference between buying a book to support someone versus buying and reading it to find out, why did this person support my book, and just like, what is their intention for the reader. If I knew the next book I wrote was gonna be successful, then I would be working on that shit like 24 hours a day. But because of the reality we live in, the actual physical plane of this reality, that's not always the case. That's usually not the case. Again, I say that for people who do not have, like look at J.K. Rowling, alright? So she already has a successful book. So even a span of books. So what is stopping her from just from stopping writing for the rest of her life? Like, that level of success I know is incomprehensible, or not comparable to like lay people like you and me, but or even just the small time writers in general. And it's like, because I don't know whether my last book, well, I shouldn't say my last, but the most recent book I'm writing is gonna succeed or not, that is very much less motivation for me. And I get it, I shouldn't need the idea that I'm gonna write a bestseller for the sake of writing a book. Now, are there people out there who write books in order to make bestsellers? Of course. What the fuck am I doing? And like, you would think I would have an answer to that question in regards to at least writing on these notes that I made, regardless of gambling, working, or lack thereof, or even Genshin Impact in general. I would say video games in general. Now, what story do I have to tell? You see, these are questions, these are normal questions, by the way, just to let you guys know, for anyone with a quote-unquote artistic interest. It's like, why would people be interested in my product? And I've had multiple people, especially family members and relatives, say to me, my books aren't going to become popular until I'm dead. Or, depending on the way I die, my books may or may not become popular. Either, post-mortem or otherwise. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, do I think could have been crazy, could have been crazier, and could have been craziest? If I wrap that up in one trilogy, do I think that would sell? I think it has a good chance. And where there's a chance, where there's a will, there's a way. But I'm not even halfway through the second yet, and I'm already experiencing a lack of motivation, and this is only because I'm getting distracted by things I enjoy more. And like, is that what I'm supposed to be doing with my life right now? Am I supposed to be enjoying what I have right now more than what I quote unquote feel the need to be doing or working on? Whatever that need may be. Like is that it? Am I just bored? Is that what's going on here? To a certain extent, I think that might be accurate. And nobody likes being bored. I was gonna say I don't like being bored, but nobody likes being bored. And like, I just have this restlessness. Like every time I'm doing something that I can justify being productive, I am thinking about the other things that I should be doing. And like, no matter what the primary subject is, I always divert my attention to other things. Now, this isn't some form of attention deficit. This is just me trying to do multiple things at once and not focusing on one. But that shouldn't be a bad thing. But why does it feel like a bad thing to me? And I don't know. It's just, I don't know, something's missing. Like I said in that short, like, I jokingly said money over everything, you know? Like, part of me is not joking about that. And I don't know why. Maybe it was just the way I was brought up. Maybe it was just my life experiences that, as much as we don't want to believe it, money is very, very important. And it just, if there was a way to change that, I'm sure people might have thought of it already. But let's say you hit the ceiling, right? The proverbial ceiling of success, of your maximum potential, no matter how low or high that may be. At what point do you stop and you say, I reached my goal? I'm okay with not going any further than this. Is that a good mentality to have? Depends on the definition of good, I guess. I mean, some people spend their entire lives and have not fallen in romantic love. And this is a little unrelated, but I feel like it's relatable to other people. I mean, that expression is better to have loved than lost than never to have loved at all. I don't know if I agree with that statement sometimes. Am I in a weird hiatus right now with the virus, with getting closure on relationships that I'm never going to get closure about, being obsessively thinking about past relationships? I know everyone says as long as you learn something from it. What if I learned multiple things? What if what I should be asking is, what is the most important thing I learned from, I hate to call it I was going to say a failed relationship, but let's call it a relationship that ended, however we call it that. Ended by whatever means, whichever way it ended. Do I just need something new? Is that it? Whether that be a new person, a new interest, a new hobby. Like, do I just need to find either who or what that might be? And like, we're in the green room right now. We're in the green room for a reason, not because of Xbox. No, I will never get an Xbox. You can. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's probably not gonna happen. Probably not. The 1 million gamer score is not one of the goals on my list. Not at the moment, at least. No, we're in the green room because, like, as ridiculous as it sounds, I am green with envy toward people who have a simple life and they are as content as they can be. I mean, like, okay, let's play the devil's advocate and say what's what's on a lot of people's minds is that everyone gets depressed, everyone gets sad from now and then, and to an extent that is true. To another extent, that doesn't make it acceptable just because the expression has some truth to it. And is that the difference between realists and dreamers? I don't know. But is it better to be realistic, or is it better to be a dreamer? Because if you never reach those dreams, those goals, then was the journey, even though the journey never finished, was it worth it? And I don't have the answer to that. Alright, well, thanks for listening, guys. I gotta support my team here. Go to NBA Finals, baby. Anyway, alright, I don't know what else to say about anything I talked about. I had like 5 different points, I think, or 6. I think I got to most of them. I just wish I knew what my goal is, what I need to accomplish in this life that even needs to be accomplished, assuming that exists. And if it doesn't, then why can't I enjoy my mediocrity? I mean, I guess no one's stopping me except my lack of the ability to change zip codes, for example. What am I going to do after this video? When I upload this video, what am I going to do? Realistically, what am I going to do that is going to be worth doing by general society standards? If you have an interest or a hobby and you're not making money from it, does that mean that it's not as serious? I mean, I know the answer to this, but why am I fixated so much on the green, on the money? Like, oh, you see how it overlaps now, huh? I don't know. I mean, money over everything. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't want to say I'm having a midlife crisis, but like a few years from now, I will be in the ballpark to have a midlife crisis. So that sucks. That sucks a lot. I don't want to say I wasted my younger years, but you know how people always say, if you could go back and do it again, or you could tell your past self to change your future self, what you would tell them, what advice would you give them? Everyone, I guarantee you, okay, maybe not everyone, but like the majority of people would be like, I would have told you to do so-and-so completely different. Or you should have taken the road less traveled, or you should have taken the road more traveled, and your life will be so much better. Because I am messing with the time-space paradox, time-space continuum. We haven't invented time traveling yet, so like I don't know how some of this stuff works. I was gonna end this video sooner than I was, but I got caught up again. Caught up in my ramblings. I don't know what to call this video. Like, what the fuck am I gonna call this? My life update? This isn't much of a life, just to let you guys know. I mean, like, I have no self-actualization. I have no, I'm not working on something that is both something that makes me proud and something that betters society. At least not at the moment. And does it bother me that I can't be doing that right now? Of course it does. It would bother anyone who had a passion like that. Not even a passion, but a purpose. Like, no matter how small or big that purpose might be. I mean, like honestly, like, in terms of where I work at, my workplace, if you made the comparison to a basketball team, I'm like number 11 out of 13 on the bench. I'm a role player. If you need me to do something that only I can do, then you put me in the game. Otherwise, what's the point of me being in the game if I'm not gonna, win the game theoretically? Now, does that mean I can't improve, become a better basketball player? Of course it means that. Of course I can, if I train hard enough, if I get coached properly, like, the sky's the limit. But I don't know, I just, I don't think I'm satisfied with being a role player. But at the same time, I know that I'm never going to be MVP. I mean, I might be an MVP for someone else, but like, by my standards, by my personal standards, I know. And maybe I'm being too harsh on myself. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. Maybe I need to cut myself some slack. But if it meant losing a couple hours of sleep so I can get better than that guy who's, not sleeping when I am, then I would gladly lose those couple hours of sleep. I would lose whatever it took. But the only problem is, not all goals are achievable. But here's the $1 million question. If you know a goal is very unlikely to be achieved, does that mean you should stop trying? Does that mean you should focus on something else? And like, all these questions I'm asking are like very very normal questions for someone my age, even someone younger. And it's just like, these are questions that I've asked the majority of my life, and I still don't have the answers to. And that really bothers me, that I don't have the answers to some of these questions. I mean, easy solution right here, you just adopt the saying that, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else in life, do whatever the fuck you want. Now, I don't think people realize I'm not in the position to do that, due to whatever reasons that I've mentioned on this channel, etc. When do I stop trying? When is it okay to be content? Now, you can be content and keep trying. Plenty of people do that. But am I capable of that? The way I'm built. Because obviously physically I'm not built the way I thought I was built, because I still got this so-called virus. There's fucking too much going on, at the same time not enough going on. If that makes any sense. That's the best way I can describe it, is that too much going on, not enough going on. Maybe of the right things, of the right or wrong things, etc. Because we learn from the wrong and we continue with the right. At least I hope so. I mean, that seems logical to me. I don't know. Then again, all my books have a different form of the word crazy in them, so I don't know what to tell you. Alright guys, I gotta stop. I gotta stop before my head explodes from analyzing stuff too much. Alright, take care of yourselves and each other, guys.